What is going on, BenchWarmers? Welcome back to another episode. We don't have a full house today, but we do have some of the Fantastic Four. There's usually more than us.
Yeah.
Before we get
into
into it,
it feels a little strange.
It's a little strange. Yeah, for real. But I miss having you on here.
Yeah, it's weird. I haven't been on this side since I think week 1.
Yeah.
So it's been like 3-4 weeks. 3 weeks.
So in case for those of you who are watching and not listening, you're wondering who is talking right now. I'll introduce myself first. My name is Eric.
Nico Nick.
John, aka Gat.
Marco.
Crack producer Marco.
And yes, crack producer Marcos.
Cheers.
And today we have game week 5 recap, game week 6 predictions. A lot to go over. Todd Bohely playing football manager and buying whoever the hell will go to his team. Haaland is going to break the Premier League. Honestly, he's going to break it. Gabriel Fc continue the perfect run. Spurs fall short at West Ham. I mean, 1 point. Good for us. Newcastle getting footballing justice by losing it in fake injury time. I'm calling it fake injury time because he faked his injury so long that it went past actual injury time. So I'm combining those words together. And Liverpool fans, I mean, look, if you guys saw a clap at the end, don't celebrate too much, all right? Be careful. If you're Arsenal, you will get crucified. But you're Liverpool, so it's okay. It's all good in the hood. No worries. And to end game week 5, Manchester United with their third win in a row. Introducing Anthony and his spinning magician.
Please.
A lot to go over, guys. A lot to go over. Some housekeeping, as always. We always appreciate the ratings, the reviews, the comments, the DMs. Everything is greatly appreciated. If you want to come on the bench, please let us know. Everything is down in the description down below. Please leave a rating or an actual review on the podcast and the YouTube channel because it goes a long way and continues to grow the community, the BenchWarmers community, that is. They want to, start including more people. We want to get some Chelsea fans on here. I want to give you guys some shit because you guys have been shit, But if you're ready for that, let us know. We have open spots for you, as always.
We'll make it happen.
And yeah, I have an opening question for you guys.
Oh no.
And I think I want to kind of open up today, similar to last episode, where we just kind of get into the footballing aspect of it because this is starting to feel like much more of a reality than just a saying. But my question to you guys is, can Man City go invincible this year?
No.
You don't think so?
The lovely Arsenal's record will be kept intact.
I think he says it sarcastically.
Like,
No, I will.
No, I'm kidding.
No,
Honestly, to actually go in depth into it, I feel like Man City always have this one game every single year where they absolutely get dominated. Well, not dominated, but like for example, like Newcastle away when they came back where they were 3-1 down.
Yeah.
Like they always have these games. Like remember last season against Palace at
Mhm.
the Etihad where they lost 2-0. I believe Aymeric Laporte got a red card. They at least always have one game a season. I feel like if you want to go invincible, you need to be defensively astute, which Man City are. They're probably the best defensive team in the league. But I feel like back in the day, teams were so rigid defensively, and attacks weren't as good as they are now, in my opinion. So it's a lot harder to not lose a game. So that's my reason as to why they won't become invincible.
I have a different theory on that one. I feel like any other year, maybe. And we've seen it. They were close.
Mhm.
This one specifically, I think it's so loaded, plus the World Cup in between. There's gonna be a game that they're gonna have to just let one go, because we have way too many matches going on. I don't think they stacked up as much as they would have want to. And player wise, yeah, of course they got Haaland, which has 2 hat tricks already, but we'll get into that in a minute. But yeah, I think this year specifically, it would be really hard. It would be surprising to see them do it. I just don't think because of how loaded we are this year.
Wait, Nick, when you guys almost went, how many losses did you guys have that season?
3, 2.
When they won a league, so they lost against Watford away, Arsenal away. They lost against City away.
I thought that was the year that you guys almost went invincible.
Yeah, the one that year
that
they
was
won
the
the
one-
league.
that
I
was-
think.
That was like mid-February when they lost to Watford away. There was like that trouble talk.
Yeah, and you guys, I think you guys lost like 2 and tied 1 in like a week and a half.
Yeah, the February period was rough.
Yeah.
That's another conversation. But yeah, so I believe they lost 3 times that year.
Mm-hmm.
So
Like, they
it's-
lost twice in lockdown.
It's not like it's without, reason to ask that. They're noisy neighbors. Do you feel like Haaland is probably the missing ingredient to that team to not only just win the league, but again possibly go invincible, or is this a long shot?
I think in terms of winning the league, probably he was the missing piece because I mean, City never really needed a striker, and they still have been so dominant. And now they actually have that striker in place, who is just going to bully everybody and just put the ball in the back of the net. But I don't think, and it's not going to be an invincible year, like they have said. You know, there's always going to be that one game or two where the play is just going to be taken to City, and they're going to be overwhelmed, and they're going to lose a couple. And also to Marco's point, I also agree. There's just so many. Everything is up in the air. There's just so many teams that are just playing so much better. Arsenal are flying right now. You know, Conte's been doing some good things with Spurs. Their attack is looking okay. So there's more teams. It's still early, but for right now, there's just a lot more teams in it.
Okay.
Sorry, the Liverpool one, that was the year after. The closest they became was when they lost by 1 point again. Where they lost one time. That was at the Etihad away. John Stone's clearance. That was the only loss they had.
Yeah, I'm pretty. Yeah, I think I was pretty sure that you guys were like
Yeah.
literally one game away from that.
Yeah, that
record.
was the only loss they
I was
had.
terrified for that because
Yeah,
that's
that
the
would've
only
been,
thing we hold on to.
They would have broke Centurions and they would have been invincibles that year.
So it's not a far shot to say that this could happen. Man, I did see some odds that they are 10-1 odds, I believe, and Liverpool, Spurs and Arsenal are like 120-1. But hey,
put that bet.
it's possible.
The minute
possible.
I send that money, Arsenal will lose the next game.
Don't
Don't
send
do
the
it.
money. But with all that being said, guys, you guys ready to get the kickoff? Or is there
Yeah.
anything else you want to get off the chest?
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
First game on the docket here: Southampton 2 versus Chelsea 1. Sterling gets up. But I watched his YouTube video and they have a name for him. It's something Raheem. Oh man, I forgot his name. They have like a nickname for him already, but it's like so cheesy. Oh my god, it's so
Raheem the Dream.
Yes, Raheem the Dream. I'm like, oh god, this is trash. But whatever. He gets onto the scoreboard nice and early. That's what 3 goals in 2 games, right?
Yeah.
So looking good, but then just some defensive mistakes. Honestly, it kind of seemed like fell apart at the end, losing 2-1 to Southampton. Is Tuchel's job should it be under review right now, or just let him get his new players in and mesh with them, see how it works out?
I remember last season I was saying that this season right here, this one right now, will be a transitional season / a rebuild, which is kind of crazy to say with the amount of money they spent this summer. But I do think it'll be a transitional season, and I don't think Thomas Tuchel is the kind of manager to kind of rebuild a team like that. I believe he's the one where he inherits a good squad and keeps them going on from there. And I think you're kind of starting to see the signs of that, just because these players coming in, can he get the best out of them? Can he keep it going? I just don't think Thomas Tuchel is that. He's still an incredible manager, but I just don't believe he's that kind of rebuild manager to inherit a poor squad and then just rebuild from that, pick the right pieces, and then go from there. Like kind of like a Jurgen Klopp what he did at Liverpool, Mikel Arteta what he's doing at Arsenal. So Chelsea's an interesting situation because they just this summer they spent an absurd amount of money, and then next summer we'll see how much money they spend because they have a lot of needs in their squad. I can't even lie. So the amount of money they'll spend this summer and next summer will be absurd. So
I think they'll be fine. I mean, they're definitely missing the people that they left, and then it didn't help that they just got a lot of these crucial injuries, red cards from disciplinary issues. But I think they'll be fine once all these players come back. You know, and the newcomers that they have come in with, they brought in Fofana, right, to kind of beef up the defense. Once we start seeing Reece James more consistent as a wingback instead of that center back, it's gonna click. It's gonna click back into place. So
It's not a wing back they're missing. They're missing a striker.
which
Aubameyang. Was that done?
yeah, that's
100%
yeah,
done?
Yeah. He's
Is
the number
he-
9.
Okay, is he? Do you guys still think he has it, or is he over the hill already?
I think he's over the hill. His best time at Arsenal wasn't even playing at striker; it was playing off the left, right, with
I
Lacazette
believe
down
so,
the
yeah,
middle. Where
exactly.
he scored, we won the Golden Boot, and Chelsea don't create an absurd amount of chances. Like Aubameyang offers very little outside of the box, and Chelsea right now they need players who can do kind of both. Aubameyang can do it in the box, but I truly believe he need outside of both. With Thomas Tuchel, I really do believe that if Roman Abramovich was still the owner, I really do believe his job would be heavy under surveillance right now. But because that Todd Bohely is and the new owner, he wants to, give like some leeway. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, if Roman Abramovich was still owner, Thomas Tuchel would be like crazy amount of pressure.
Marco, how do you feel about Aubameyang going to Chelsea?
I'm
And
okay with it.
is he good for them?
I don't know if he's good for them. I think it was just they just needed a striker kind of thing. I don't think that. I think they should have gone for what's the other Brazilian Barcelona player that was also.
Memphis Depay.
I think they should have gone for him instead. But all about game, good for him. I just feel like it's gonna be like a Laka kind of thing that with expectations are kind of high and he's not gonna perform. I feel like the number 9 is technically, I believe, it's a cursed number
So you think he'll be what William was to us?
in a sense. Yeah,
He'll
just-
start off with maybe like a brace or
Yeah, that's what I feel like. I feel like
then just fall off.
if he doesn't start off strong, I think he's gonna it's gonna get into his head that he just can't. He left Arsenal.
He's a vibes player, 100%.
Yeah. So if they're not behind him from the beginning, I think he's gonna have a hard time this year scoring goals. Yeah. Let's see. I wish him the best.
All right.
And I know they're
Just not
like,
against us.
I know they're building. I know they're rebuilding again, but I really wonder why they're targeting, like, for example, like short-term targets like Aubameyang and Dennis Zakaria, 2 loan. I mean, 1 loan. I believe Aubameyang's a loan, right? Or no? I think he's a loan.
I don't know.
I don't even know, but either way, it's a short-term. And then they're targeting long-term projects in terms of, like, obviously Wesley Fofana, Gavardio. They bid 90 million yesterday. So it's just like it's a weird mix because these players like Aubameyang, like Zakaria, won't be here next summer. And in my opinion, they're not the best options that you should go for in terms of actually rebuilding a squad. So it just kind of messes everything up in terms of actually what are you trying to build. So.
Yeah, I mean that's a fair point. That's I would say that's probably the similar route that a lot of teams have taken this transfer window. Kind of all over the place, but we'll definitely get into that towards the end because today was the transfer day deadline, so everything is said and done. Whatever. But yes, Chelsea lose 2-1 to Southampton, and we move on to the next game, where the cheat code in Erling Haaland gets another hat trick. I mean, it's kind of hard to not. I guess what is it fair to expect nothing short of a Champions League from this team now?
Yeah, I think Erling Haaland was brought in to win a Champions League, and I think he is such a Champions League player because Champions League relies on players on pace and power and overpower your opponent. How fast are you? How faster are you than your opponent? How vertical can you be? And I think Erling Haaland is all that. So he should be a massive. Like when they had Sergio Aguero, he isn't the one who physically imposes himself like you see like many Champions League strikers do, like Lewandowski, obviously Cristiano Ronaldo, etc., etc. I don't think they had that in Sergio Aguero, so I believe Erling Haaland is that kind of player who, in big Champions League nights, will impose himself and try to get the goals. So this City team is a lot better. It sounds crazy to say, but it's a lot better primed to win a Champions League than their previous teams. Like when they got 100 points. Like those teams are more methodical. Those teams are a lot more effective in the league because obviously league and knockout football is completely different. But with the way this Erling Haaland move is just like completely shifts the whole thing.
I forget what you said about Erling Haaland earlier this year. If you were in the camp that he's going to destroy, I was obviously you guys know where I was at. I was hoping he would just do miserably out there, but that's not the
As
case.
much as you love him, yeah.
As much as I love him, it's not the case. He's obviously doing what he's doing right now. But are you in the camp that this is going to be the guy that's going to carry them into the Champions League glory?
I think it's turning out that way. You know, as much as it hurts to say that, it's definitely turning out that way. He's just a monster. I'm starting to buy into the Nico theory that that he was made in a lab because it's just that we watch him play and there's just no way. There's just no way he should be doing the things that he does. But it's going to be a scary Champions League run for everybody else. It's just going to be a matter of you have to hit them hard and fast and just hope that you can hold on to it. So it's going to be fun. But I think it's very likely that this will be it.
Also, Champions League, you need players who can score half chances. Like for example, like Karim Benzema last Champions League. Like how many chances did he score, or it shouldn't even like be a half chance?
Mm-hmm.
Like I imagine they're like such low xG chances. I remember Benzema's first goal at the Etihad. I know it was a cross from Ferland Mendy to the left foot, onto his left foot to the left of Ederson. That was a ridiculous chance. Like so, in the Champions League, you need strikers who can finish such low xG chances. And Erling Haaland is one of the best in the world at doing it, if not the best at converting low XG chances.
Marco,
What's up?
Real Madrid Do they have a problem they won the last Champions League, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do they? Is there a fear in your heart that this will no longer be the year they can defend their title against what is this dynasty of
I
Man
mean,
City?
I'm not expecting another 3-year run, right? Back to back to back Champions League wins. I'm not expecting that. I don't see that happening. Not anytime soon, at least not from my team
Mm-hmm.
or teams.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like a lot of people feel like last one that we won on a fluke. We won on just based on never giving up.
Yeah.
Because that was the model from the minute the group stages
Well,
ended.
let's be clear. The motto was "fuck Salah" and we'll get past him. So.
That was the final model. But but during it was never give up. And that was like it's just a vibe. It's just how we are. Never give up. I think there's so much you can run with with that, and it's gonna eventually catch up to you.
Yeah.
This season I don't see us being contenders. I also said that last season,
Yeah, for real.
but I do feel like I feel like this season, if we're going into like just a small conversation of Champions League, it has to be Man City, and or just based off pure comments that I've been hearing Barcelona. On how people are loving how Xavi is coaching and Xavi ball
Brother
and shit
Shaka.
like that. So I think those are the two teams to look out for. More Man City because I think this is a build up. This is what they've been working and trying to get to, and now they have a player that can technically take them to that glory, right? Not just the final, but to win the final for them. So yeah, I don't see us being up there. I like the 14. I would love a 15. Even as much as they criticize Rodrigo on him saying por la 15 when we found out who we were playing against in the group stage. I don't see that being something as of right now. I don't see that something that might happen this year.
So Man City are favorites in your opinion?
Huh?
Man City are favorites.
I feel like they should be I think technically they are the favorites. To win it this year.
Okay. All right. Haaland is the missing ingredient to that monstrosity of a team. Oh, God, 6-0. Jesus Christ. And you know what's crazy? Aston Villa play him next too, and Aston Villa.
I know, bro.
You are so.
I'm actually tempted to pick him up just for the shits and giggles.
Watch him. Well,
watch him not score or.
Wait till fans.
All right. You know, you're right.
Well, look, you know, we don't gotta wait anymore. It's about talking about the beauty. But is Gaby FC? I mean Arsenal FC.
Gaby FC, bro. Gaby, bro.
Our last 3 goals have been from Gaby.
Gaby, bro.
So that's pretty cool. And this weekend we have played Anthony. But Marco, this game was complete domination.
Of course.
From a on-field standpoint, but the scoreline
does not
definitely favors Aston Villa a lot more than what the actual game, how it actually took place. But what is your overall? I mean, I guess I haven't asked you in general about this whole season so far, but going 5 for 5, winning the games we should be winning, but as everybody says that, it doesn't always happen that way.
Of course.
So we're doing our job. We're implementing the philosophy that Arteta wants.
Yes.
How do you feel right now?
I'm loving it. I'm loving it because the games that we should have won last season and we didn't end up a tie or a loss, even though we dominated the entire game. These are this year we're doing that, and not only that, but what everybody keeps on talking about is it doesn't matter if we go down or they tie us. Sorry, we haven't gone down. They tie us.
We really go down.
Have we gone down?
Hold on.
We did, that's right.
In the second half.
Yeah, that's right. Even regardless of them scoring on us, we don't care. It's just kind of like a motivation for us to say, you know what, you did one, let me one up you, and I'm gonna go for it, and not putting your hands down, not letting the gas throttle go, just more accelerate more. So I'm loving it. Again, we are with missing 2 key players. Well, not key players. Party and now Lenny on injury. La Conga is gonna have to do a lot to be able to win himself that spot.
Mm-hmm.
But based off this past performance, I'm okay. I for these type of games or teams, I'm okay with. I'll worry maybe this weekend and moving forward with the top 6.
No.
But overall, bro, I'm enjoying it. I love everything. I think I texted you. I love the tiki-taka. I just wish that sometimes there's too much tiki-taka and not
enough shooting.
I know.
And I told you that. I texted you, like, bro, the tiki-taka is beautiful. The 1-2-1-2. Just shoot the ball, man. Sometimes you don't need to make the extra pass. Just shoot the ball.
You saw how many times we actually got in front of it, like just kept bouncing off a player.
Bro, this past game, how much time were we inside at 18?
I think that's the one thing. Just speaking from the outside is what makes you guys more of a threat. Is that you guys are still getting it done, but you're still missing the aspect of just shoot the damn ball.
Yeah.
So if you guys can just get into the habit of just shooting it and just to see what happens, force the save, get the rebound into those right spaces, I think your score lines are going to go up and it's going to be
I
it's
mean,
going to be annoying to play you
yeah,
guys.
no, and it's true. But I mean, at least in this past game, Martinez did his job.
He had
He did his job. The Martinelli one,
Oh, that
ooh,
volley,
that
yeah.
was beautiful.
But to your point, Odegaard last game we were down. He just took the shot and got a deflection and then went in. And so it's a matter of you're not gonna get into this contract if you don't buy a ticket. So you gotta buy a ticket, right, to get in there to begin with. So
Yes, sir.
take your shots. But look, somebody who is taking their shots and also putting in the assist is Gabriel Jesus. 3 goals, 3 assists. Marco, what was your overall prediction again for him again?
25 goals and assists.
So we are 19 away.
19 away,
from
probably.
reaching that. Okay. We'll keep it going. We'll keep it going from there. Martinelli, man, he's flourishing under Gabriel Jesus. Nick, I know you mentioned earlier this the season that he has to step it up, and you want to see if it does player development in that aspect. How do you see that progression going so far?
He definitely looks a lot more confident, and just in the way he takes on his players. He reminds me of not reminds me, but he has like shades of Heung-min Son, where his dribbling aesthetic isn't the best, but it's very effective, and the way he can actually find spaces inside the box to actually get a finish off. It reminds me of Heung-min Son a lot. So Martinelli's I've always liked him, even when he joined Arsenal in 1920. He just always had something missing in terms of in front of the net.
1920, you mean 2019?
Yeah, 1920.
No, the 1920 season.
Wait.
Wait, what?
He's like 20 years old, bro. I
I
don't know.
was like, damn,
Was there
bro.
an older Martinelli that we completely did not know about?
Does he have like a clone like Ozil? Have you seen that?
Yeah,
The side by
yeah.
side? Yeah.
Yeah, but no. Ever since that season, even last season, he had a decent season. But I just wanted to see like more, just aggression in his game, and he definitely is showing that. So his development has been nice, just because I do think he can become just a pure goal scoring inside forward.
I actually told Marco, you and Hugo, Jeff, and Dimitri in the new Gunners chat, right?
Jeff.
Yeah.
Hugo?
Yeah, and now he's like actually
he
saying
bought- he
like
bought
our
his
team
jersey
and
and
shit.
everything.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's funny as
He
hell.
goes in.
I think Jeff is more of a troll. Please
think
correct me
Jeff
if
is
I'm
a troll.
wrong, but
Well,
Hugo,
I hope
the
he
fact
is.
I hope it, bro.
I hope he is.
It'll
I
be
honestly
fun.
went out.
No, Arsenal is a good club for Hugo because it's like a very diverse cultural club. And it's in London as well, so
Yeah,
I feel like Hugo's about like
that lifestyle.
yeah.
So I mean, I'm happy that they joined, but no, I also these guys in the chat. Like, look, I'm all for Bukayo Saka. Like, I think he's our star boy. He's having a slow start to the season, but he has 2 assists, and it's not like he's not impacting the game, because he definitely is impacting the game.
Definitely is.
Even without scoring and assisting, he's still impacting the game a lot. So I'm not worried about him, at all. Like, I'm sure he's gonna, once he finds his scoring boots, it's gonna take off for him. But for me, the player that is gonna be like, okay, this is the guy that we need to hold on to for forever, is gonna, not forever, but like, our,
Foreseeable future.
for the guy who's gonna, I think, get us over the line in those moments that we just can't, like, Ronaldo. I'm not saying he's gonna be Ronaldo. I'm not saying that at all. Please don't misconstrue what I'm saying.
No, that's exactly what he's saying.
That's exactly what I'm fucking saying. He's better than Messi and Ronaldo already. I'm not kidding. But no, like, don't misconstrue what I'm saying. But I'm saying, like, he's gonna be this character for us, and I think it's Martinelli.
Yeah.
I'm
As long as he stays with us.
I think the way he's just developing right now at his age so fast and just confident, like Nick said, the aggression he's showing, always going to the goal. Like, that's his first instinct, is go to goal. He's assisting, he's getting the passes in, he's making the right choices. I mean, every now and then you see the little rawness to his game, which it's expected. He's 20 years old, but I think I told you guys earlier this season, keep an eye on the player to watch. I think it's going to be him. Under Gabriel Jesus, he's flourishing, 100% flourishing. Another player to me that was flourishing, that has been flourishing, now that I think they got the stress and the relief and the pressure off of them, both on the defensive end and I would say the mentality aspect of it, is Granit Xhaka. Without him having to do the responsibility on the defensive end and being in those situations where he can get one-on-one and get red carded, he's actually being a lot more impactful in the opposition's box. The way he's able to actually make those late runs in now, do the 1-2 pass, and still go to goal. My hat's off to the coaching staff for changing. This is like a second career he's having right now. I'm not saying he's like, oh my God, just stay with him. He's taking us to the glory. But what he's doing right now, I have zero complaints on what
I actually saw something earlier today on Twitter. I believe it was an old quote from Arson that he said that he
was
sees
best.
Box to box.
he sees Xhaka more of a box to box.
We never did
number
it,
8.
so.
He never did it. He never did it. And when he always played as either the double pivot with his party, and we saw what happened half the time there, or he's by himself as the 6, and we saw what happened time and time again there. Use him like the professor said to use him, and I mean we're definitely getting the best out of it.
It's funny because like I remember, was it towards the end of last season, I think, or mid last season? We were talking. I think one time we talked to Malaka on online. He was like, "Yeah, the next season, just get rid of Shaka because I feel like he's not a player for the future for us or
I think we
a
all said that.
player."
I'll be
I mean,
honest.
no,
I think we all said
I'm not saying you. I said we as a collective. We all
Yeah.
kind of like felt like Shaka's not
I
the
was
one.
100%.
Shaka should be like
I was
sell
on
him,
that boat.
get rid of him because he's not going to fit the style. He's too much of a hothead, blah 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 blah, and he's proven us wrong. He is still a hothead, but
leader of that team.
Even
Even though Odegaard has the captain band,
he is the leader.
he's
He's
the
the
leader
old.
of
I think he's the oldest one.
he's the oldest one on the team. Yeah. It's kind of crazy
yeah,
to think
yeah.
he's the oldest one.
Well, the whole Granit Xhaka situation or revitalization just goes to show that every player, probably in world football, has a profile that they need to be played in. So, for example, like Joelinton being transitioned from a number
Yeah.
9 to a
Mhm.
box
Great
to box
comparison.
midfielder, or even Alex Iwobi at Everton, who's been playing really well recently, being transitioned to another box to box 8. So every player has their correct profile that they should be played in, but majority of players, I would say, that's a part. Majority of players do get played in the profile they should be, but there's always that like small, I guess, percentage where players aren't played in the profile they should be. Like for example, Granit Xhaka for 5 years. So
And I mean, all of us here said this guy
Crucified him for him.
Yeah,
Right.
he's got to go. But like, now he's looking like a brand new man. My biggest takeaway from this game is mentality. Don't give up. That's the winning mentality. Somebody who doesn't have the mentality is Stevie G. And I don't know if you guys saw his presser after the game.
Oh, I saw it.
Dude, he threw everybody under the bus.
Yeah.
He didn't back one of his players up. And I'm like, how are you going to throw all these players under the bus when you came in? You took away the captaincy for Tyrone Mings. Okay, yeah, that's fine. You want to make your statement. You pick McGinn. That's perfectly fine. I get what you're doing. And you're trying to make yourself known in that club. But then you start a different 11, if I'm not mistaken, each game after that. I don't think they've had a consistent starting 11.
Yeah, he hasn't figured out what he wants to do. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you're right.
So if you're, and granted, yes, I know the Douglas Luiz got Douglas Luiz, right?
Yeah, Douglas is.
That's the one that got injured, right?
Huh?
No, who's the one that got injured?
oh no, Dale Carlos.
Dale Carlos. Sorry, Dale Carlos. Oh my God,
We've been talking about
Damn
that.
it! Whatever. Dale Carlos getting injured, of course, threw a wrench into that whole system. But dude, you threw your players under the bus, and yeah, you haven't even found your best 11. So
He's got to be next. You
He-
think?
I don't know, Nick. You're the Liverpool fan here. You're the one that
But he trashed him last time.
he did, and but that's why I want to kind of see where are you on this? Is he good? Is he a good manager, man? He's looking pretty shambolic right now.
No, he's not a good manager, and quite frankly, you can see Rangers in Champions League football now. I'm not saying he didn't do a good job, but the year he did do a really good job at Rangers, which first of all, it was a COVID season. I'm pretty sure they went invincible, I believe, but
They did.
second of all, it's a Scottish league, and third of all, they're doing a lot better than they were with him. So, and then now as Aston Villa, like his whole like throwing his players under the bus, like look at you, like
That's what I'm
look at you
saying.
in the mirror before you try to throw your players under the bus. You know what I mean? Like I mentioned it a couple episodes ago. Like he has currently now, I think it was like if he loses against Arsenal, which he did, he has the worst losing percentage in Aston Villa's any manager in Aston Villa's history, and that's what he currently has right now. So before you try to throw your players under the bus, try to look at yourself first in the mirror. So
they're going into Man City. 2-part question: does Stevie G have a job going into this game? Does he have a job coming out of this game?
I think just for the fact that he's throwing his players under the bus so early in the season, I don't see him having a job going into that game.
So you think he's sacked between now and what, Saturday?
I wouldn't be surprised. I see it coming.
our City home.
No, they're not.
'Cause-
It's at Villa.
Oh, it might be.
It's at
'cause
Villa,
if
so
it's
it's like
Saturday.
it's at
Oh wait, no,
Villa.
I'm sorry. They played Leicester. I thought they played. Oh no,
No,
wait,
no, they play City, they play
no,
City.
I'm
Yeah, it's
I'm
at Villa
tripping.
Park.
Saturday, yeah.
Yeah, if it was at the Etihad, I would expect a thrashing. But at Villa Park, they'll probably still lose, but it'll probably be like a close one just because like Villa's
I
fans
don't
and
think
the
so.
2-0,
atmosphere.
3-0.
I don't think so. If you
I
look
think
at,
it's gonna be
dude,
close, but-
did you watch the Arsenal?
No,
Dude,
no.
the fact that we honestly we should have won that game 4-0.
Oh, more than that.
Man City's gonna dismantle them.
I'm just saying because it's at Villa Park.
I get the home aspect of it, but
Under
Tyrone Mings got bodied by Jesus. Haaland is gonna have a
Bro.
field day with him.
Bro, he threw fucking Martinez under the bus, and he's the one that kept them alive.
Yeah, he threw Martinez under the bus. Oh yeah, goalie mistakes, but he's the one that was making save. Dude, Gerard out. When I saw that, I was like, I lost respect for him, bro. As a manager, like, dude, how are you gonna tell they blame these players, but you can't even find out which is the best players to play with? Like, you don't know what you're doing. And if you look at the sideline, every time there's like a break in play, and they're all.
he looked so.
He looks so.
he's
You're right.
So sad, like depressed. He's
He
like
looks like he's looking
he
at
looks-
everybody. Everybody's having side conversations. He's like trying to look busy. He's like, bro,
he looks lost.
he looks
He's-
lost. I'm like, oh, dude. When I heard those comments that he made, I was just like, no, this guy's gotta go.
You know who would be a perfect Steven Gerrard replacement in my opinion?
Graham Potter,
Him as well.
Eddie Howe.
No, he actually doesn't have a job right now. He's jobless. He's get a job, pal.
Arsene Wenger. No.
Yeah.
Argentino.
Bielsa.
No.
No. Poch.
Yeah. Just because I think Poch is like how I mentioned, Thomas Tuchel isn't the kind of person who inherits a poor squad and rebuilds them. I think Mauricio Pochettino is the opposite. The Tottenham squad he inherited, picking up the likes of Heung-min Son, Christian Eriksen, developing the likes of Harry Kane, building a nice solid center back partnership with Vertonghen and Toby Alderweireld. I think there's a lot of key players that the players that you're seeing right now that Pochettino really brought up. And I think with Villa's owners and their backing of their manager, because they've backed Steven Gerrard a lot. Like they've given him a lot
I
of
think
money.
they like him. That's why, though. I think they actually are a fan of Gerard, like the character, not the coach.
Yeah, maybe it could maybe due to I think their owners are English or their border, something like that. So it could play a part into that. But I think Pochettino would be. I'd be interested to see what he could do at Villa because he won't have the money that Tottenham. Actually, he may have because Daniel Levy. Is that Daniel Levy, right? He wouldn't back Pochettino that
No,
much.
he
Like
wouldn't.
he would kind of have to do some money ball shit. And
Mhm.
Villa's owners spend a lot. They spend a lot. So Poch at Villa would be interesting to see.
I wouldn't knock on. I wouldn't say no to that. I mean, I'm not. Of course, one, I don't choose, and two, I'm not a fan. But I can see that happening. And if it does, I can see them coming back this season.
Yeah, and then like at PSG, obviously there's like huge amounts of egos and like Mbappe, Messi, Ramos, Neymar.
Imagine
et cetera,
having
et
gone
cetera.
from that to, of course, it's a smaller team, quote unquote.
Right, so that's why I think Pochettino
But-
would do well.
but
It's like
he
a
did
smaller
really
kinda-
well with
I
Spurs.
always said at PSG it was too big of a job for him. Too many stars for him to manage. He's never won anything. They're looking at him like, "Who the fuck are you?"
Yeah.
He's going to Aston Villa, where he took Spurs to the Champions League final. He actually got him to top four. He made them compete. I'm sure he can win over the locker room there.
Yeah, without a doubt.
But yeah, to
Yeah,
me,
he's never done like an amazing job. Like he came from I believe Espanyol, in Barcelona. I mean in Spain, and then went out to Tottenham. So he has like credit in the bank where he's good at bringing teams up. So
yeah, that's a good shout. That's a good shout. I'd be interested to see that. But Stevie G, disappointed in you, man, with those comments that you made. Ugh. West Ham. Well, speaking of, we were just talking about Spurs briefly, right? So they drew to West Ham 1-1.
This is a boring game.
All the goals scored by West Ham players. So I didn't have God texting Kane eyes for some reason in the chat again.
What? Don't tell me it was
He got
actually
an
2
assist,
goals.
It was on goal.
Kane got the fantasy.
Oh, it
assist.
was 1-1, right?
Yeah,
It was
1-1 final result.
It was a
but
boring game. It was just poor showing from both sides.
man, West Ham aren't looking that good, man. They're looking pretty sloppy. I mean,
My
granted,
expectation was
we
a lot
do-
higher.
We do have I think their game is our game to watch this weekend, right? Yeah, it is. But I mean, they got the draw against Spurs. The Spurs are still undefeated at the moment. They're on a good run. Well, on a good run of form, I would say. Is this just another one of those away days? They're just gonna get the 3 points.
yeah, Tottenham's history away at the London Stadium is like very poor. I think there was draw or West Ham win was just written all over the place. I wasn't able to watch the game, but I think
The Snorfest.
yeah, there has been signs even like in previous games this season where like for example the Wolves game like where they kind of like lacked to kind of carve open, trying to create like good quality chances against Wolves. I think you're gonna start to see the signs where against kind of high quality opposition, like I said in that one of the episodes where they come up against a good press. So a lot of the players just don't have the technical ability to play out of those presses. So like we saw that against Wolves, and I'm not gonna say I saw it against West Ham, but I assume that they had struggle in finding gaps in West Ham's defense and kind of creating chances. So I think you're gonna start seeing that a lot more throughout the season with Tottenham.
I mean, wouldn't that be more on the way that Conte plays? Is obviously we known him to be as a counter-attacking manager. So when you're playing against the likes of West Ham, they're not known as a pressy team. Wolves, more so, I would say maybe yeah. Who else did they draw? They had
Chelsea.
Chelsea. That was a
It's
kind
not.
of that was a kind of
It's not
fluky
also
game,
not
honestly.
as much just the press. It's just going up against a team that can actually set up nicely defensively, just to stop them running through them. Not so much the press, but just if they can just get in front of Spurs and just not let them through, that's enough to just frustrate them, and they just don't know what to do. But
The-
overall, this was a poor showing from both sides, though. It was.
I mean, honestly, my biggest question or takeaway from this game was more not on the footballing, but more on the relationships on the field. And I think Kane and Son look to be kind of separating, going different ways right now.
Really?
I'm pretty sure, I could be mistaken, but I have to go back and look. There was a pass Kane could have made square to Son, but Kane, being a striker, he's gonna take the shot most like 9 times out of 10. And Son's just like, yo, I'm like right here. Kane's like, they kind of literally went back and forth for a bit, and with Richarlison coming into the squad, feeding him every now and then. Yeah, man, I think Son and Kane, that dynamic duo, isn't the same anymore.
Damn.
So that's my off the footballing theory.
It's
I think
definitely
I think you're reading into it too
I
much.
think it's a
I'm more putting into the universe, hoping it happens.
You want him to pair up with Richarlison instead?
I'm trying to do what Pogba did with the witchcraft right now.
You need a lot more than just putting it out there in the universe.
Well,
I'm telling you right now.
Kill a goat or some shit? No, what did he do?
You have to do a lot more.
What did he do?
You have to get
He buried
leads.
something.
He
passes.
buried.
Oh, I don't know.
He buried. I think it was a goat. I think
the
it was a
fuck?
goat,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
outside of
He's a
You got
outside of Old Trafford. I think like before he left or something like
Are
that.
you serious?
Right, Carrington, one of the two. Yeah,
Oh
something
shit!
like that.
I thought you were just kidding about that.
I mean,
It was like
I wouldn't
cool,
be.
man.
I
It
wouldn't be
was some-
surprised. I
It
mean,
was some
that's
stupid shit that I came across. I don't know.
Oh
If it's-
shit!
if it was true or not.
with the product,
It was something stupid.
the cameras, and all the other bullshit. Yeah.
Oh well, yeah. Spurs drop 2 points, walk away with 1, and West Ham haven't won a game yet. They won. They won last game, right? The first game, I think they won last game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they
First
won
goal,
again.
first win last game.
Yes, that's right. So continue. I'm sorry, Marco.
Sorry,
Damn.
it's been a long week.
Sorry.
Reminds me of Nico just laughing in your face, and you got Marco yawning in your face. That's crazy.
Chill, chill.
But look, we won't be yawning talking about this next game because, I mean, are we calling it Liverpool now, or is it still Liverpool? I'm just fucking with you. Look, it's football injustice. Liverpool 2, Newcastle 1. Nick, how happy were you when you saw that minute going 9 seconds of the game after they wasted all the time in the world, scratching their asses, acting as if they got shot in the fucking kneecap, and they just lost their child?
During that, I believe the ref gave 5 minutes. So during that, Nick Pope went down for like a good minute. and
Well,
then-
his landing look kind of hard. I'm not gonna lie.
Which one?
His landing, like he fell straight
I
on his
don't
back, so I
remember.
was like, ooh, that could knock the air out of you. But then he started milking it, you could tell.
And then Joelinton went down for like his 5th cramp of the fucking game. He was like, "Oh, I'm just gonna sit down here." And then, so there was already 2 times. I forgot the actual thing, but I believe it was like around the 95th, or 90 back end towards the 94th when the actual ref gave the corner. So obviously you're not gonna blow the whistle when you give the fucking corner or whatever. So you have to let the guys take the corner. But this is the 8th game out of 9. This is the 8th out of Liverpool's 9 last Premier League games where they conceded first. So obviously, I think it's a mentality issue. I don't think it's actual on the football pitch issue where they set up the wrong way. I truly do believe it's a mentality issue. The second half was a little bit better. I thought Harvey Elliott had another strong game.
You look good.
Yeah, he looked really good. I was last year when he got his injury after those 3 games and he came back. Obviously, he had his injury, whatever, but he looked kind of slow. But it clearly looks like he's a lot sharper now, and he actually understands the rhythm that you need to be playing at when you play at a midfield. So just the way he would pick up the ball on a half turn around, spray pass to Luis Diaz or Mohamed Salah, his great technical ability. So it's just really nice to see. One thing about him, I want him to be rotated properly. So if you look at the likes of for example Jack Wilshere, he was played fucking constantly, and he was just burnt out. That happens. Even towards the back end of the career, you see Eden Hazard or Neymar kind of just burnt out a little bit. So these youngsters, for example, the perfect example is how Pep Guardiola integrated Phil Foden into his side. So in the 18-19 season, he gave him a couple minutes in the Carabao Cup, etc., Premier League games. And in those Premier League games, he would be playing alongside senior players like your De Bruyne, et cetera, et cetera. You don't want these players to just be thrown in Carabao Cup games and then start them in like fucking Premier League games. And then the following seasons, he would integrate him a lot more. So I think with Harvey Elliott, that's what he should be doing right now because, like, even Pedri at Barcelona, incredible talent, he still is, but that one season where you play like fucking 70+ games, like that can just like totally ruin a youngster because
I mean, look at Sofati, injury after injury.
yeah,
for a while.
exactly. So on the actual game itself, I kind of forgot it now. Fuck.
I
Because it
mean,
was just like, everything
because
was just like so the
Isak
last
put
moment.
them up early. I was it earlier. I think it was right before the half. if I'm
Yeah, it was
mistaken,
a little bit before the half. His ball strength is crazy. Like his offside goal as well. I think he might have been onside. I haven't checked but
No,
he,
it did look like he was off in the build
Yeah,
for sure.
but
Yeah. But the way he just cut that back and just sent who
yeah,
was
he
it that he
took out
sent flying?
Robertson and
He
he
sent
took out
Robertson
Joe
flying.
Gomez and he
Yeah.
just smashed the top of the fucking net. But Fabio Carvalho as well, like his time at Fulham was played more as a second striker and less as a creative 10. So he would play literally just behind Mitrovic, and you can see that in his last cameos like against United, against Bournemouth, and obviously this game where he's playing off the striker, so you can see him in goal scoring opportunities. I believe when Mohamed Salah scored against Old Trafford, he's the one that caused the goal, and obviously Bournemouth at home. So I mean, it's a good win, but it's definitely a worrying sign. Just like they keep going down every single fucking game. Like,
So against a better opposition, and not to slander Newcastle or anything, because I think they're actually probably one of the better teams this
Yeah.
season. But let's say against the likes of a Man City, maybe even Arsenal now, just throw it out there, why not? But like Chelsea, Spurs, going down that early on, it's probably be more detrimental than going down against like 1-0 against like Bournemouth,
yeah.
Fulham. You get your Bournemouth. I'm sorry, like a Fulham or something like that.
Well, every game this season apart from Bournemouth, Liverpool have gone down first. So in Newcastle missed. I think they were missing Bruno Guimaraes
Mm-hmm.
and Alan St. Maximin. So if they were to go 1-0 up, let's say they went 1-0 up, they would sustain pressure a lot better than what they had. I believe they started Longstaff and then
Do you think
someone else.
Alan St. Maximum would have? I saw a lot of tweets and other memes that Trent Alexander-Arnold was constantly checking his phone to see
Those
if
were
St. Maximum was going to play. Are you in the camp that thinks that if he played, he would have just eaten him alive?
I mean, there's a better chance he would, but with Trent, I'm less worried about him 1v1. Like he's definitely improved his 1v1 defending. I'm just more worried about him just like he constantly just switches off at the back post. When he's going up against a pacey 1v1 winger, like the winger will probably get the best out of him more times out of anything. But I'm just more worried of him, at least positionally.
Mm-hmm.
Like I can't remember the last time we actually got like tormented. Like I know Arsenal away last season at the Emirates, Martinelli had a good take ons in it, but I wouldn't say he absolutely got skinned. So I think Trent is a lot better 1v1 defender than I think a lot of people give him credit for. But I do think he absolutely slacks in his positional game, especially at the back post. That's where, if for example, if St. Maximin started playing, oh damn, one of the best 1v1 wingers, probably top 2, top 3 1v1 wingers in world football. I think against most fullbacks, you probably worried, probably except like Kyle Walker or Reece James in world football. But I'm less worried Trent against 1v1 wingers. Like I said, just positionally with him more.
No. Okay. All right. Yeah, I'm going to you, Marco, and then back to you, Nick. But let me ask you guys real quick. From the outside looking in, if you're, obviously you're a United fan, Arsenal fan. But 9-0 to Bournemouth, 2-1 to Newcastle, the dying seconds of the game. Which one means more to the players?
Probably the 2-1 dying seconds of the game because they had to fight for it. They didn't have to do much against Bournemouth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I feel like the 2-1 affects more because then it becomes a mental game. The 9-0, it's like it's more like a scrimmage than anything else.
And especially like you said, it's football injustice just because of the shithousery that Newcastle were trying to do. I think that just being able to
bit him in the
fair
ass.
play to the ref for actually letting it go because we've seen before where refs just don't care. Time's up, that's it.
They needed the ref of AFCON. That's what Newcastle needed.
was the 10 seconds before that. But I think that also is key to why this one meant more, just because it just to them it's definitely going to feel like, okay, karma.
Nick, do you feel like this is the kind of game that you guys needed to kind of get that fire and you guys go in again, kind of turn that switch on? Because like you said, the past how many games you guys been going down?
8 out of 9.
So was this kind of victory 2-1, hard fought out, could have ended in the draw very easily? Is it the switch they need to kind of all right, we have to get this going now. We can't keep falling behind each time.
Well, I hope it is, just because I really don't want it to paper over the cracks, just because obviously an incredible last minute winner from Fabio Carvalho, but the players should know damn, we almost fucking tied this game. We almost dropped points again this season again. So it should absolutely be but against people were saying Bournemouth, Liverpool bounced back incredibly, and they didn't really bounce back. So it's kind of falls to your question: which one do you think the players would kind of like build on more? And it probably would this game, but we'll see. We'll see against Everton this Saturday because I have to see it because I haven't seen the past 9 games. They've started slow every single game, and then when you go 1-0 down, it just makes it so much harder. So
Well, look, Everton sucks, so it shouldn't be that hard. And if there's one thing I can only give you advice for you is don't over celebrate because the celebration police are out. They're out.
It's
They're
only
out
against
there.
Arsenal, bro. It's only against Arsenal.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
Oh, I wasn't aware of that. My
It's a
bad.
rule this season.
Makes sense actually. But let's. I mean, I had my question was Isak. Would he be a problem? I think we kind of answered that. He seems to be kind of he's going to make Newcastle better, 100%, especially in the attacking third end. I'm kind of nervous to see how well they do this season because I think they're going to be one of those dark horse teams that move quietly up the table and knocking out some of the big dogs while they're out there. Hence, Man City didn't get the job quite done. Liverpool didn't get the job quite done. But maybe
they
against
scared them a little bit.
Arsenal, Spurs, Chelsea, they can get the job done. So
Yeah, as long as they keep on rolling around for like half an hour, you're good.
yeah, for real. Let's move on to the last game of this game week. Leicester 0, Manchester United 1.
Snooze fest.
3.
Kidding.
Kind of, okay. 3 games on the bounce with a W. Is there more to expect?
I definitely think there is. I mean, they're starting to really buy in and understand the way that Ten Hag wants to play. I mean, just some of the passing football was just nice to see, and just the way they just play out of pretty much anything that they did, mainly in the first half. But there's just this one beautiful sequence, even though it didn't amount into an actual goal, but it was just the way they passed the ball from the back. I think it was like around the halfway point of the first half was just great to see. And then on the goal itself, it was a great job winning the clearance that I believe NDD had kicked out. We won the clearance, 3 touches, and that's it. Sancho rounded the keeper, and it went in. It was ping pong boom goal. It was great to see. I mean, it was very shaky to start the second half, so I don't know if maybe they switched off definitely mentally for a little bit. Unnecessary foul by 5'7". But it was a great free kick, and it was a great save by De Gea to keep us in it, and they just weathered the storm, and they created some chances late. Couldn't put them away, but it's great to see. It's nice to watch now this new Manchester United.
I forgot to ask Nick, did Martinez grow or did he shrink this week?
I didn't watch the game.
I mean, honestly, there wasn't much to watch to begin with.
There
Leicester,
wasn't.
He didn't get the player of the match this time, so he's probably stayed the same.
Yeah.
The same. Well, dude,
He got a yellow, so
Leicester look.
I don't know if that helps.
Dude, they just look abysmal.
Did you see? I didn't watch it, but I saw like a couple quotes on Twitter. Brendan Rodgers was talking
awkward
about
one.
like he was like it was a good run type shit. We won the FA Cup and Community Shield, so it kind of just signifies that
He's out.
yeah, he's probably out.
Who's going out first?
Brendan Rodgers or Steven Gerrard or Frankie Lampard?
Damn,
I'm still sticking with
I mean, we were all figuring like it's gonna be like.
I have
the
Marco
next, like,
Silva, but
week.
he's.
I'm still
happy
sticking
he's
with Brendan
going out.
Rodgers. I'm very mad that Bournemouth decided to be
Yeah,
stupid.
that's Bournemouth.
Yeah, it was too quick. 3
How do you
games.
sack a manager who got you back in
Promoted.
the championship? I mean, to the Premier League, and you don't support him with new players when he's asking for it?
And they started off with a rough run.
Yes, I mean, whatever. That's another conversation.
that's
But
like a sidetrack.
But no, Leicester, honestly, man, like you guys look solid against them. You know, I'm not gonna discredit what the performance, but Leicester just looks so bad, man. Like they just don't. Offensively, they're not creating anything. Defensively, there's just so many mistakes left and right. They're all on different pages right now. Do you feel like United should have gotten a little bit more out of this game?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, like I said before, they switched off early in the second half. I mean, it came down to individual performances from Leicester. Like Harvey Barnes almost curled on a really nice one, and De Gea was just completely standing. So it and the Madison free kick, it's individual performances. It's not a team game for Leicester right now. And I definitely believe that United could have definitely gotten a lot more. And I mean, Ronaldo just barely missed that chilena towards the end, like the 82nd minute. Eriksson, who got man of the match, he missed a couple good ones. Sancho missed. We definitely could have
Sancho
got more.
scoring sheet again.
Yeah, Ward is just terrible. Ward
he
is
is.
just terrible. I mean, it was just. I understand. Yes, in that situation, you wanna challenge and you wanna come out, but you have to position yourself a little better. Like you just made it so easy for Sancho to just go right around him.
Yeah. Ronaldo had pretty good options, but when you said that they just basically just went to sleep the second half was because they took all their runners off the field.
I'm happy you brought that up, and I mean, I'm not happy you brought it up. I'm kind of like you just kind of sparked a thought in my mind, and I am gonna refer to Arsenal because it's what I know. But I look at the United game and when Ronaldo came on, and you see they took the runners out. Ronaldo came on,
He was solo.
and you just see like the lack of energy. I'm
Yeah.
not saying he's not playing, like he's not gonna do what he's got to do, but
No, he was trying.
But for example, when Eddie Nketiah came on for Arsenal, you just see the energy and the pressing. But when Ronaldo came on, it's just like he's just waiting for the ball to come to him, and I think it's gonna be a big problem.
I do agree with
the
you.
season.
I do agree with you when it comes to like him waiting for the ball, but also there is also that not much of a backup for him. Meaning, in this case, he had Fernandez and Eriksson, and even for like the big runs, it was hard for them to catch up. Like they're not the runners. They're the midfield. They're the one that make the pass. They make it all the way for the runners to actually do the job. But if you leave him with nobody to connect with or to have his back on certain occasions, what is he gonna do? All he could do is basically shoot and wait for the best instead. And he had three chances that he passed the ball. It's just that there was nobody there to get it or to just tap it in. Eriksson's gonna make it because he's not fast enough.
He also doesn't want to be United. So.
You could see that in his body language. You could. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he does want to be there, but doesn't it look that way? He looks just look like.
I feel like he's just doing the job.
I don't know.
I'd much rather have a player who wants to be at my club. I'm, like that classic saying, like if you don't want to fight for this club or whatever.
Yeah.
But I'm not saying all that, but because there are players who fight for their club but don't like go fully in with like their manager or whatever. I think with Ronaldo, he clearly doesn't want to be there. Like the guy went on strike when United started their preseason back in early July.
Look how much it helped him. Still there.
Yeah, he clearly wants to leave. So. I don't know.
Do you see it? Do you see that Ten Hag potentially getting more out of him, or is this what you're gonna get over Ronaldo? He's gonna score the occasional goal because he's fucking Ronaldo. Of course, he's gonna get his goal, but you don't expect him to start because he's not gonna press. He's not gonna be the guy leading the line, leading the charge.
That's what it's starting to feel like. I mean, which is why we've pretty much had the same lineup the past 3 games that we've been doing good in, with Rashford being the central player up top.
Who was dropped in the back again?
The fridge.
Oh, I mean, if only anybody's had that in the past 2-3 years. Whatever.
So I mean, I would hope that he's going to get the better of Ronaldo. I mean, of course, I'm always going to back the manager, so I hope Ten Hag can work his magic and see what happens. But just based on the way we've been playing, I mean, I definitely see Ronaldo just turning into just that super sub that we need late and in Europa as well, just to create that bit of magic that we know he can do. I mean, only time will tell. But I mean, it does seem like he's
checking out.
He's checking out. It does seem like that.
Winter,
we'll
he's
see.
out. In the winter, he's gonna be out.
So that's the thing with him specifically. I think like with him, that let's see if he truly has that winning mentality, right? Because now it's now you actually have to go for it. Nobody bought him. Nobody got him. Nobody picked him up. He has to stay now. Now what do? You have to have that winning mentality. If you want to perform, World Cup is coming along. He's still playing for Portugal. This is the last one. If he wants to be in shape, goal scoring and everything, he has to wake up now and bring that winning mentality out. And as super sub or as their official number 9 and take Rashford out, he has to do something. He has to show his worth now. Because if not, he's going to walk in lazily and maybe get injured in the first couple of games with Portugal for the World Cup.
That's a good point on the World Cup. That's a good point.
Oh, it's crazy. It's crazy that I want to say the downfall, but the downfall of what is looking to be Ronaldo's final years of his career. But I mean, look, he can still turn around and score 18 goals. So he had last year, right? 18 goals for United?
17, 18, something like that.
So, I mean, you can still do that. So it's still early days. I'm just trying to read body language and the way that Ten Hag is playing, which is looking a lot better than it was with him and Maguire on the team. But yes, Ronaldo. We'll see what happens with you. Oh, whatever happened with that interview he gave? I never watched it. You guys watch it?
I don't think he ever gave it.
I haven't seen anything that came out yet. I mean, I always thought ever since that story broke that he was always going to wait until after the deadline just so that he can spin it one way or the other, whether he's, oh yeah, I've always wanted to stay, or yeah, I'm glad I finally left or something like that.
So the PR team's working right now.
Yeah.
I think so.
They're editing the video right now and cutting out every time he said, "I want to leave."
So this time tomorrow, well, not this time, but
Voice
tomorrow
over.
morning, like around 8 in the morning, our time, East Coast time, you'll probably see a video from Ronaldo saying how much he wants to stay at United. So
The voiceover right now. They're working on the voiceover. It's that translation that's called.
for real.
He's not really good in English.
So that wraps up the games that we were going to talk about. I'm going to go over other results that happened across the league. Crystal Palace 1, Brentford 1. Fulham 2, Brighton 1. Mitrovic, bro. I know you guys don't believe in him, but I'm
You guys.
Well, do you?
Eh,
I don't think he was. I
I'm
think him
still-
and Diego were always like, oh, championship. Where does this count? Dire too.
I did call him up. It was gonna end up being like Pookie.
I'm
yeah,
still,
you said Pookie. Yeah,
I said Pookie.
dude.
I'm still a little on the
called him
fence.
Pookie.
I mean,
the
I
dip-
I kind of see Nick's point of view where it's just a little purple patch for him, and he's just starting off great, and he's going to continue for a little bit. I mean, I'm still going to look at the numbers, and yes, like I've mentioned before, the last time he was in the Prem, he only scored 3 goals. Yes, it was half the season that he played, and yes, Fulham do look significantly better this year than they did the last time they were in the Prem. So I'm still trying to see what else he can do.
He's also looking hungrier though. He's chasing the balls down. He's pressuring the players now. It's before it kind of seemed like he was just waiting around to get the header in the back post or just the through ball to try to run somebody over like Haaland does like every other day. But this time he's actually putting in the work off the ball, which is something that we didn't see his last time in the Premier League. I'm actually a fan of his right now. I'm liking what I'm seeing with him. I'm liking the whole little celebration that he does. I don't know. I'm excited to see what could turn out of him. I think he actually deserves to move to a mid-table team or a better team. I would even say Chelsea could use the services over
That'd be
Aubameyang.
funny. Honestly, he'd be a better fit than Aubameyang. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm not trying to be sarcastic or anything. I think he would actually be a perfect point man. Like, do somebody to have up there. Just he's sort of like Lukaku, but he's scoring goals.
I mean, Lukaku scores goals, but not in Premier League.
Not for Chelsea
Yeah, no.
or United.
Or United.
I don't know. Do you guys feel like Mitrovic is just like? Do you think he's still in his purple patch, or do you think that maybe he changed his game around and is trying to adapt more to the Premier League?
I was on the train of being a purple patch, but I do agree with you on he just looks like a completely different player. Like you kind of mentioned how he's just a lot more involved in terms of everything, like dropping deep, actually being a nuisance in the air, which he absolutely is, which he probably was when Fulham last got promoted. But he just looks like he just wants to get involved in everything, probably in stuff like he isn't good at, like maybe link-up play or whatever. But he just wants to get involved and just impose himself more. So there is that side of his game where he looks at the like you said, he just looks a lot more hungry.
So now, question: who was manager of Fulham last time they were in the Prem?
I'm not sure.
Scott Parker.
no?
Was it Scott Parker?
It was Scott Parker.
Yeah, Scott Parker tax, you know.
Scott Parker.
tax.
What
Marco's
happened? What happened to Scott Parker?
Yes, yeah, but I think they were hard. But no, I see what
It's
you're saying.
it's the cardigan curse, according to
the
Twitter.
Carnegie
The
curse.
cardigan curse.
Oh, well, we'll see. We'll see what happens with Mitrovic. See if he continues this form into this the later parts of the season where it gets really, really hairy. But yes, Fulham win 2, Brighton 1, Leeds 1, Everton 1, and Bournemouth 0 versus Wolves 0. Diego's probably gonna hate me when I say this, but I think Jimenez is done.
Yeah, he
I think
does. I didn't obviously. I didn't. Why the fuck would I watch this game?
He missed a couple.
That's what I was gonna say. He missed a couple chances, and I'm not gonna say he was the most clinical when he was actually in his prime, like that 18-19 season with like Adama Traore, like prime.
Before.
Yeah, exactly. I want to say he was clinical as that, but he just doesn't look like for example, you mentioned Mitrovic like hungry. He just doesn't have like that anymore. And,
I mean, I hate to think it's because of the whole injury with David Luiz. I hate to think that was the reason. That's what changed in him. But I mean, if you're Mexico, who are you calling? Raul Jimenez, who came and put a goal in, or Chicharito, who goes down for a purple nipple?
yeah.
Oh,
Chicha.
I'll go for Chicha just for the spectacle.
Chicha's clutch. And
I love. I do. I've
That's hilarious.
in pro clubs back in the day. Not pros. I'm sorry. In the ultimate team back in the day, when I actually played, Chicha was my guy.
Oh yeah.
Chicha was my guy, bro. He's cheap
Didn't-
and he got you goals.
did-
They
did-
didn't get a feature back in the day.
Didn't he say he'll go back to Man United for
For
free
free.
if they
Man,
called him?
I tried to go back to United, bro.
Yeah, I'm here.
Yo,
Fuck
man,
out of
fuck.
here. There's also like fucking
Oh, man.
who was it? James Rodriguez was like, yo, I'll cut my salary if Valencia calls me right now. I'm like, fuck
Yeah,
out of
like, no one fucking wants you, bro.
Dumbass.
I think
Desperate.
think
Like,
real,
now you're good, thank you.
real quick, just on Wolves before we move on. I think just the fact that they couldn't do anything against Bournemouth, they lost Willy Boley, and they couldn't replace him with a quality defender that Laj wanted, it's just gonna get even harder for them now because they're used to being so solid defensively, and they couldn't replace
And
a
they got rid of the
defender,
dunker.
Oh yeah.
and they just can't put goals in. It's gonna be difficult for them now. I feel.
I thought the dunker going to Aston Villa was the green light for other
For
transfers
us.
to occur, but no. But yeah, you're right. They're losing players left and right, and I mean they're not looking that convincing.
And there
going
was
forward.
a rumor. I don't know if it ever materialized. I don't think it did, but they almost lost Huang to Leeds.
Yes,
so
I saw that.
I don't think that ever
Did-
went through, or maybe it's still in the works. But
Did you guys see that Leeds target that?
Oh, Baba Dieng.
Yes, he
Yeah,
changed
that
his
shit was
mind in
crazy,
mid-flight
bro.
and went to Nice.
Yeah.
No,
That was-
he failed his medical. At Nice.
Oh, he felt. But,
and he failed his medical after that.
there's apparently like a wild card in France that if you're going from a French club to another French club, you can do it. You can do a transfer one day before the transfer window opens and one day after the transfer window opens.
Oh,
so there's
shit.
still a chance you can still make it. But yes, he felt this fucking. That's crazy.
Like, he must be
Le-
fuming,
Yeah,
bro.
dude. But real quick, speaking on Leeds, man, they were targeting Cody Gakpo. United obviously linked with him. Arsenal linked with him, and I was excited to actually see him go there. I think he would have been a great addition to that team, but it didn't happen. But expect his move to the Premier League very soon.
Yeah.
Expect it very soon. That's all the results for the week. We have some predictions coming up. We're gonna give you those in a second. But do you guys have any other news? Any other news around the football league universe that we didn't go over? It was transfer day deadline. You guys got Arthur Melu. How do you feel about that?
It's a good panic buy, in my opinion.
Yeah. So
It's a good
if you had
panic.
to rate that, on the- Huh?
It's
Loan.
a loan. It's loan with the
if
option
you had
to
to
buy.
rate, I wish we used the loan market more. but-
Fabrizio fucking fraud again. He said there's no option to buy on that loan. Juventus came out. There is an option to buy. Fucking fraud. Fucking fraud.
Replace him.
He has a burner account. He already gets that. So on a ranking from 1 to 5, 1 being a bad panic buy, 5 being okay, this guy can actually get the job done and help us continue what we're trying to get done. Where do you rank this signing?
I'd give it a 4 just because he'll
Wow,
be
that's a strong one.
he'll be Thiago's backup, and the bar is literally being better than Jordan Henderson or James Milner. So
It's not
Well,
me.
look. If we're talking about bars right now, there's one bar that he is below, and that's Martinez's height.
what? He's a center. He's a midfielder. It doesn't
He's shorter,
count.
I'm just saying. I'm just letting you know he's shorter than Martinez.
Either way, he
Height doesn't apply.
His-
That's
it
crazy.
Ah,
Now height
doesn't apply. Fucking Marco Verratti's like fucking 5'2", and he's fucking phenomenal.
Yeah, but you don't say shit unless it's a United player. That's all right.
Well, first of all, you have a fucking
Continue.
5 center back at 5'5" player at center back.
He's
When was the last
strong,
time you
he's
saw
strong.
it?
Wait. I thought he was a 5'7" this week.
I thought so
He's
too.
5. He's 5. He's fucking
He's-
short. That's all.
I think
He's
he's still annoyed.
still a
that-
center back. What
he's
was the
still-
last time
he's
we
still
saw it?
annoyed that the shortest player is still winning more aerial duels. But it's okay.
Aerial
Yeah, he's
duels
5 on
are,
5, right?
I don't know what the stat is, but he's up.
The
he's number
butcher.
one.
Yeah, fuck out.
He's number one.
The butcher. The butcher.
So you think this guy is gonna be enough to continue to keep your title hopes alive this season for whatever you're trying to go for, whether it be domestic cups, Premier League, Champions League.
So when Thiago isn't fit, you can very clearly see how much he misses that. And obviously, Arthur Melo isn't on Thiago's level, but he is better than Jordan Henderson when he ever plays on the left, or James Milner. So the one thing that he does offer is like he's very good at keeping the ball, his ball retention, and he's very good at just short passes and keeping it ticking. He's probably slack on the defensive side of the game, but Henderson and Milner very lag on the ball in terms of just ball security, being able to play out of press, being able to keep the ball under pressure, being able to play out of pressure. Arthur Melo can do that, so he's gonna be Thiago's backup, and we'll just see.
Well, he had a good stint at Barcelona, somewhat. He had a good purple patch in Barcelona.
Yeah, that whole Juve thing was a money laundering thing.
Juve was in a complete abysmal, transfer for him. He barely got to play.
No, it was I believe Juve paid what was it? No, Juve paid 70 mil for him, or was it Barca?
Barca paid.
Barca paid 70 mil for Pjanic, and then sent. No, it wasn't like that. I'm pretty sure Juve paid. It's something along those lines, but either way, they exchanged Arthur Melo for Pjanic, and Pjanic barely gets playing time at Barcelona, and Arthur Melo never got playing time at Juventus. It's
Correct
fucking
me-
laundering.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Wasn't Arthur supposed to go to you guys like 3 seasons ago, or was
I
it
don't
Malcolm?
No,
Because
no, Malcolm was supposed to go.
He was supposed to go to one team, and then he was like, nah, Barcelona wants me. I'll go to that one.
I think Malcolm was he got his move to Barca, but he wanted the move the previous year
Oh, okay.
Something like
I
that.
remember something, but I thought it was something related to Liverpool. But never mind.
But I forgot the whole Arthur Melo situation. I forgot if Barca paid 70 mil or if Juve paid 70 mil. I'm pretty sure Barca paid 70 mil for fucking Miralem Pjanic.
While Eric looks it up, I do just have to give a quick shout out to Diego because you guys all missed it in the chat, unless you intentionally glossed over it. But once the whole Arthur Mello thing came out, Diego's cheeky little text came in that he's not as great as his brother Marsh.
Who?
His brother Marsh.
Oh.
Marshmallow.
Well, he just has to be better than. He just has to be better than.
Yo,
Jesus.
good shit, Diego. That was hilarious. I was laughing all fucking
Honestly,
day.
I saw that. I'm like, Mars. He's probably trying to get somebody. Let me not even answer this. So I just ignored it.
I reacted the same way, but then I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, Marshmallow, and I started fucking dying. It was great. Good shit, Diego.
All he has to do is be better than Henderson and Milner whenever Thiago was.
Didn't even catch it.
Yeah, I didn't catch that for like Marsh,
That was great.
but
Go back and
So
like it tonight.
Barcelona looks like they bought him.
for like 70 M's or something.
No,
like
for 34. Then they sold him to Juventus for 83, and now they're loaning him out to
So
Liverpool.
yeah, so it's Juve that played.
Juve paid the money.
That's
Damn,
crazy.
they fucking scammed.
Funny because they don't pay for anybody.
Yeah, they don't.
Money
Oh, speaking of
laundering.
Juventus,
Pass.
you seen Vlahovic being a complete flop lately?
I,
Think the Juventus.
I forgot all about him.
I'm so happy. See you again, bitch.
Massimiliano Allegri text. I don't know if you guys. This is one Juve fan on TikTok. He fucking hates Allegri, bro. Like every TikTok he posts, it just posts like fucking his absolute hatred for Allegri. Remember when Arsenal were linked with Allegri?
Yeah,
Couple
and
seasons
everybody
ago.
wanted him. Like, dude, don't get me
There's this
started.
one kid on AFTV who was like, "We're linked with Massimiliano Allegri," and everyone just started, "Oh, we're getting Allegri." We're getting
People
Allegri."
are just like infatuated with like nostalgia and past successions. It's just like, dude, stop, whatever. All right, so look, that's all we got for other news. Game week 5 table update. So because there's a unique situation that just happened right now. I got cheated out of this. I don't know how, but we'll talk about some other time. So look, there's 2 losers. Nick, do you want to tell us who the 2 losers are? And look, we're not doing a tiebreaker for the losers. The losers are going to be the losers, and they're going to stick together as losers and do the whatever the challenge is as the losers. So
Yeah, so the 2 losers for between Game Week 1 and Game Week 5, the roundup. 2 people who that aren't here. That's Dyer and Diego, and they both tied with 8 points.
So they're gonna do whatever challenge it is that we decide to do. Still trying to figure that out. They're gonna do that together. But there's a tie. There should be for 3 people, but for 2 people apparently only.
I honestly, God, I thought you won it.
So
My mentality.
thank you, thank you.
I honestly
thank
thought
you.
you did.
But the
Something
thing is,
changed.
I'm not. This season,
Something
I'm not
changed.
in charge of the numbers.
We need,
So I just thought about it. I was like,
that's
no.
why I said we need to get a fucking board. We're supposed to get a board here. for that.
I was supposed to order
Something
it.
like that. But you know what? Look, there's more titles to win this season, so I'll hold off and when
Well, we'll go to VAR.
Wait,
We'll go to VAR. We'll go to VAR.
So
It's all
we'll
good,
go to
it's all
VAR.
good, no there's-
This weekend, this week, sorry, points. What were they?
Oh, I'll tell you right now.
the final roundup or
Yeah.
So the Game Week 5 roundup in order. So it was Nico, myself, Eric, Marco, both on 1.
We only
Then-
got one right.
Yeah, we got 1
Shit.
point, just 1 point out of
One
3
prediction out of
fixtures. So
3.
Nico, Eric, and Marco on 1 point, followed by Dyer and Diego on 3 points. So again, and then Gat won the game week with 4 points. He got 2 scorelines correct. That was
wait a minute. Wasn't
Palace
I on
Brentford.
top last week?
Game week 4?
Yeah.
Yes.
So how did we both get 1 point, but I'm not ahead of you?
Yeah, there's no way.
I don't know the math. You're gonna have to.
Bro, what are you
Wait,
talking
if I was on
about?
top last game week and we both got 1 point, how am I not ahead of him?
Because I was probably ahead of you by Game week 4, but one Game week 4 finished.
No, he never.
In
He,
terms of overall
the
points.
one-
Oh,
yeah, overall
that's what I'm
points.
asking. What did I rank in game week 4? Like in first, second, or third, or fourth, or fifth, or sixth?
Yeah, Game week 4, you were first. You got the most points out of everyone. You got 3 points.
No, but in the overall table.
He never added anything up.
oh, you might
Yes,
be.
he
You
was
might. You
waiting.
might be
What do you mean
second.
He was
overall? I just
waiting.
did. Yeah, you got 10 points of everything. Game week 1 through Game week 5.
He waited until now to actually add everything up. He
I
wasn't
see
added
what you're
everything.
saying. I see what you're saying.
Yo, that's crazy,
Yeah.
bro. That's
Listen,
crazy,
I'm telling you,
bro.
some witchcraft going on here. There's probably a goat buried underneath here. I gotta look for it. But look, all right. So now let's get into it because now we're just falling off the rails here. Obviously, I'm not in it. Who are the 2 that are tied for first place?
So there's 2 people. Gat and myself, Nico, are currently tied for first place.
How many points?
11 points.
1 point off.
Now, because they're drawn, we're gonna do things a little bit different this time, and we want to make sure that one of them actually gets to lift the title for the first in-game tournament we're
Do
doing.
you want it before we give out the
Yeah.
what they're gonna be paying for? Do you want me to show it now? Or do you want me to wait for next week?
I mean, you guys are one of you guys is gonna win it. So do you want to see it now? Or do you want to wait till next
Do
week?
it now.
Sure.
Do you want to see it now? All right. So we're gonna put it here, just so you can see. So while Marco gets that, I'm gonna explain to you exactly what it is that they're gonna be basing their final victory on, and it's gonna be So last game week, how many goals were there?
24 or 5, one of them.
So Nick gave me a paper, Gat gave Marco a paper as
Yes.
far as what they think the goal count is going to be for this week. Whoever's close to the number gets the hold the title for the next for the next 5 game weeks. And if, for example, they are tied on, they call the same goal count, which would be very rare. But if they do, we also are going to take it to the next level, which are non-penalty goals. So Marco, do you want to give Gat's goal prediction first?
Sure. Goal prediction: 26 goals.
All right, good, perfect. So Nick's goal prediction: 22 goals. How many non-penalty?
24.
24 and 21. All right, so that is gonna determine who's gonna carry the.
Yo! That looks pretty good.
So this is the champion belt. Every 5 weeks, somebody gets to wear this around their shoulder.
Can I just do it now? Can I know it's
Yeah, you were supposed to win it, so might as well just put it on your shoulder right now.
Put it right here in the middle. Perfect. Oh.
That looks nice.
There you go.
Damn! Look at that. That's legit, yo. What are these inside?
No, just blanks, but we can put stickers on it if you want. Most likely. There you go.
But that's awesome. Wow, that's fucking clean.
That gives it a little bit more of a feel of like you won something. You actually win
I'm
something.
definitely gonna go back and listen to the scores I gave now. But yeah, so Nick and Gat gave their final goal count for the game week, and I think that is perfect time for us to transition in the next 15 minutes over to Gat
Or less.
or less. I'm sorry, fantasy 15.
Just
So whenever you're ready, take it.
Given the time, hopefully it is less. So, time for some Fantasy 15. Really quick, just going to go over how everybody did in our draft league that we have going on. If you just give me a second, let me pull it up because smart me should have had it already.
So because of the belt.
So this past game week, so we had Marco going up against Diego. Diego taking the dub 57-33.
Yeah, I got screwed.
Nick taking the dub over Josue 53-45. That was a close one, but even closer and low scoring. I outlasted Eric by 3 points. It was 30-33. I was shitting bricks because you had
Who did I have?
had Bruno left to play today, and I was shitting bricks because he was playing so freely in the
He
pitch
was
and-
looking good today.
Yeah.
Who did you have that carried you the points?
Um,
Because I have KDB. And
it
he
was a
benched,
lot of
obviously,
it was a
so
lot of
maybe-
little points from everybody. I had Ruben Diaz gave me the most at 6 points.
That's damn really.
And so I had a lot of 3-pointers, 4-pointers.
Damn, does that mean I'm in last now?
Kane and Mount with
No,
a couple
Josue's still in
5-pointers.
last.
So Josue is still in last. Not last place. FC is still not in last place. Good shit, Marco holding it up
Only
in
1 week.
5th. Eric did unfortunately drop to 4th. Diego rose up to 3rd. Nick went up to 2nd, and I'm still holding steady in 1st.
How far are you ahead of it than the next person?
Well, based on points, just because I've won 4, so I'm on 12 points, and Nick and Diego are tied with 9. But overall point, if after actual fantasy points come into play, I'm just barely. I just finally got over 200.
And how much is the next
So,
person?
Nick is actually ahead on 253.
So
So,
Nick would be in
fantasy
first place.
overall, Nick would be if it wasn't head to head, Nick would be in first
Holy
place. So.
shit. Where am I
just-
at on that?
So you are 4th place, but 236 points. You're actually
Oh.
tied with Diego. So
Okay.
you
So
would have
second
been,
place,
yeah,
right?
you
I'm
would have been
getting
tied
like
for
fantasy
second,
points,
yeah.
but I'm not winning my head to
But
head.
the head to head is
That's
what's-
I like this draft. It makes it interesting.
Oh yeah, it definitely does. So now just quick upcoming. It looks because it's only 6 of us and there's a lot of games to play. We're going back to how things started. We're resetting. So I'm going up against Josue next. Eric and Marco, you guys are showing down next, and Nick against Diego. So we'll see who comes out on top.
Perfect
from
timing.
this. So
Because I have a shitload of Arsenal players.
just real quick, just to give you guys an idea of how much movement there was this past game week. Some top transfers in this week. Haaland, number 1, over 507,000 people brought him in ahead of his game when he got his back-to-back hat trick. So good job to them who brought them in. Gross coming in second, 423,000 managers brought him in. Zaha in third, 380,000. Martinelli and Mitrovic coming in fourth and fifth with just over 300,000 apiece. Top transfers out, which coincidentally, number one is also the player you want to also drop. He's the first on our drop list is Rodrigo. He did get that dislocated shoulder, and it was confirmed. It looks like he's going to be out for about a month. He's not going to be back until after the international break. Over 1 million managers transferred him out. A surprising one, in my opinion, Reece James is number two. 577,000 managers shipped him out over just an illness, and he's most likely going to be ready for this upcoming game this weekend. So we shall see. Zinchenko still out for you guys. A lot of people brought him out as well. 293,000 managers shipped them out. Tony and Odegaard round out the top five of top transfers out with just under 300,000 apiece. Very entertaining game week overall. Just to go continue with the drop list, since I already mentioned Rodrigo. Perisic is one I would be a little weary on. So with Perisic, he's very risky of rotation now going forward, just because we do have a lot of the European fixtures coming up, and just fixture congestion is pretty crazy right now. So just be careful. I would honestly say, or I would at least mention that if you have Perisic, you're probably better off just keeping him. And if you don't have Perisic, you're better off keeping it that way and not bringing him in, because you don't want to risk bringing in a player who's probably going to get rotated coming forward. Moving on to that, Neto, please, if you still have him like I do, please get rid of him, because he can't do the business against Bournemouth. I don't see him doing the business against any other team, unfortunately.
I have that.
Hat trick next game, watch.
That's what happens when he says something.
In typical fantasy shithousery, that's exactly what's going to happen, and I'm going to be pissed. Mendy, just overall Chelsea defense in general, just not looking great right now. So if you are still holding on to Mendy or any other defender that's not Reece James or maybe Cucurella, I would probably say to definitely drop them. Some notable names to pick up. Another assist today, so Rashford is definitely top of the list, especially if you have Rodrigo. He is definitely a good replacement. He is a little bit cheaper depending on when you picked up Rodrigo. Brendan Aronson, if I can say his name right. A nice sideways swap if you're still looking at the Leedsmen.
You got assists, right?
I believe he did. He has 2 returns in his last 3. He's only 1.6% owned. So if you decide to go to Aronson and he does decide to return, it is very likely that you're going to shoot up in your overall rank, just because hardly anybody has him. Bamford as well is someone to watch. I wouldn't necessarily say to pick him up right away, because he's still coming back into fitness, but he is available. Rodrigo's out, so it's likely that Bamford is now going to be the main man again, which bodes well for Harrison, because Harrison still is top for key passes and chances created. So he's doing a lot of the dirty work. He just needs that person to just put it away. So hopefully Bamford can get back into that form and help him out. Some of the Brighton assets that we're still keeping our eyes on, Gross and Trossard. Unfortunately, this past game week, we saw just how much of a miss Danny Welbeck actually is to the side, because Danny Welbeck did not start. So there was a lot to miss out on the end of Gross and Trossard's just movement and just the way they play and get the ball in. So hopefully once Danny Welbeck comes back into the side, that bodes well for Gross and Trossard. Gross is also playing a lot more advanced than he normally does. So that is great for him in terms of getting some returns. Zaha is definitely one to keep an eye on. I know, Nick, we were speaking about this the other night. He seems to always come to play in those big games, and most of the time you don't think a player like Zaha is gonna return against a top 6 team, but he's pretty much fixture proof. As long as he stays healthy, he's going to be in the side pretty much every single game. You see how much Crystal Palace really needed him when he was out. He's on penalties as well, which is something to consider. He is a little bit more expensive than Rodrigo if you're looking for a replacement. I believe he's at 7.1, so you're going to have to move some funds around just to be able to get him. And then Newcastle have a pretty good run of fixtures coming up for their next 5 or 6 weeks. So I would definitely look at Nick Pope if you need a goalkeeper, and definitely Kieran Trippier. We know how good he is at a dead ball, just in addition to his normal fullback play. So those are the names of the people that we want to keep an eye on and pick up. Haaland is also going to be on this list as well, just because it's Haaland.
Oh, so you finally caved in?
He is very risky at the moment, though. He is very risky.
I don't think he's gonna play this weekend, honestly.
That is why, but we never know. You never know. I mean, there are also comments out there that he's just so young, he can easily do it. So it's a very risky move. I mean, I think right now, if you picked him up before he started rising a lot in price, you just keep him. You most likely captain him, unfortunately, just because it is Haaland. You just never know what he can do and just inside of just
Pretty good
15,
vice
20
captain.
minutes. But absolutely. Next thing that we want to look at here, there's a lot of Liverpool returning assets as well. Darwin Nunez, Jota, a lot of these players that you want to keep your eye on just to see how they perform as they come back into the side. I know I saw a stat, I don't remember the numbers off the top of my head, but Liverpool, I believe, had the most crosses this past game week. So I can only imagine what that means for Darwin when he actually comes back into the side and he's actually fit again.
Well, as long as he heads the ball and other
As
people's
long as
faces, then we're in for a
hey, he already
conversation.
promised that that's not going to happen again. So we'll see. I mean, he's still Uruguayan, so
As far as
he's going to get ticked off very easily. So now, just really quick, moving on to just some captaincy options. There's a lot of good options for this upcoming weekend. Some of these players have some pretty good stats against their opponents. Kane is a very good one. Spurs are 11-1-1 against Fulham in their last 14. Kane has 42 goals in London derbies in general. Salah is another good option now. We also have to keep in mind, which we have talked about before, never back to early kickoff. Unfortunately, Liverpool do have the 7:30 a.m. kickoff. However, Liverpool are 10-12-1 in their last 23, and Salah has 3 or 4 goals at Goodison recently. Haaland, as I mentioned before, yes, he's risky. You just never know what Pep is going to do. But if Haaland even has a chance of getting on the pitch, you know what he can do, and that's pretty damn scary. Do you guys have any additional questions for me? That was a pretty easy fantasy 15 for today.
I have a question for Eric. So
Hmm.
I kind of in predicament right now.
Oh, talk to me.
Who should I start? Gabriel Martinelli or Bukayo Saka? Where United? I need to bench one. Like, who you feeling it?
I think
would always go with
Martinelli
Martinelli.
can get the better of the low. I think what's his name?
Malacia.
Malacia. I think he's gonna be able to keep up with
Malacia
Saka.
has shown to be he's
fast
got
and he's
fast.
strong.
He's aggressive.
He's aggressive. So I think the way Martinelli, just based off form, I have to go Martinelli. Honestly,
Done.
watch it. Saka get like a hat trick. I think Saka hasn't scored, man.
Yeah.
He's been he always starts off slow. So we'll give him time. Any other Arsenal questions? No. All right. So look, thank you for that fantasy 15. Now we're gonna end it with our game week 6 predictions. The 3 games that we have selected, obviously, all derbies. Everton versus Liverpool, a London derby in Chelsea versus West Ham, and a bench derby between Marco, myself, and Diego, with Manchester United hosting Arsenal. So let's get with the first game at Goodison Park. The Merseyside derby. Marco, talk to me.
What was the game?
Everton at home to Liverpool.
Liverpool. 3-0.
I'm gonna go with 3-1 Liverpool.
3-1, okay.
I'm also go 3-1 Liverpool.
And I'm thirding that 3-1 Liverpool, actually. Yeah, I'm going to get, obviously, Diego's and Dyer's prediction as well. We move on to the London derby. Chelsea versus West Ham.
So Chelsea versus West Ham. Was it home? Chelsea. Yeah, I feel like Chelsea's gonna win it. West Ham hasn't. West Ham hasn't been what I thought it was gonna be. 2-1 Chelsea.
1-1.
I'm gonna go 2-0 Chelsea.
I'm going to go 1-1, actually. I have a strong feeling. Dude, they should have beat Spurs. They had opportunities to beat Spurs and they did it. Chelsea, no shaky. And last but not least, Manchester United versus Arsenal. Time to put up a shut up, Marco. Does the winning streak continue? Do we
Of course.
fall to the first signs of a real test?
All right. Is it a real test? No, I'm kidding.
Oh
No. It's gonna bite me in the ass because of the fact that I said that. Please don't clip it. I've been dying for a clean sheet, and we haven't had that in the past 2 games, if I'm mistaken. So I'm gonna go 2-0 Arsenal.
Wow.
That was bold of you, Marco. That's bold. This is gonna be a fun game to watch. I'm nervous as fuck though.
I'm
However-
excited for it.
I'm excited as well, but it's gonna be a tough game. It's at Old Trafford. 2-1 United.
Well, you're gonna hear my prediction. So
I'm ready. Eric's waiting for
Shit.
the respect.
I was gonna say no, but there's no way there's gonna be goal scored. I'm going 1-1.
So it's crazy because like 5 wins in a row. We're looking good. We're playing the way we want to play. We said before, but it's fucking Old Trafford, man. And we saw what they did with Liverpool on their day. Anything can happen. There's no way. I don't think United will let us get 6 wins in a row. Like that, I think that's more important to them than actually getting 3 points. Is no, fuck these guys. They're not gonna get a win our house. But I also think that we're in a situation where we're strong and we have the resilience and
Mentality.
we're playing such great football that we can still get something out of it. And I'm nervous. I'm nervous, excited, but really nervous. 1-1.
That concludes
Our predictions. So, with all that being said, I think we went through everything. Is there anything that I missed, guys? Anything you want to bring up that we didn't mention? No? Good to go? We are good to go. Again, don't forget to hit the subscribe, hit the like, leave a comment, leave a review. We appreciate all that. Let us know what you want to hear about through our Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all that good stuff. Everything's in the socials down below. Come join the bench. We have an open seat right there. Where is the Charmander, our mascot? And look at this lovely belt. Just enjoy it. Enjoy it. As we sign off, we're the bench with a voice. But the bench is always warm. Peace, everybody.